Greetings, one and all. As you can plainly see, I have not put up a card review today. I was going to, but being the indecisive guy I am when it comes to making a choice out of such a vast pool of options, I decided against doing a card review in favor of something more complex, if you will. It goes without saying that YGO is a very complicated game. And if you've ever wondered why, you don't need to look any further than the sheer level of interaction the game has. No other TCG can really compare in that respect. Magic has some interactions, but not really to the point of confusion. Cards in the Pokemon TCG only interact on a very basic level, if they bother to at all. In these and other similar games, most problems can be solved simply by thoroughly reading the rulebook, as well as the cards themselves. Yu-Gi-Oh!, on the other hand, is an entirely different animal. It's really touchy on wording and highly layered when it comes to cards impacting other cards. To make matters worse, the rulebook for Yu-Gi-Oh! Is nothing more than a basic outline of the game, and it omits or overly simplifies a lot of important game mechanics. This, in turn, leads to a lot of unnecessary confusion, but all the same, we have to deal with it. That's why today I'm going to go beyond the basics and explain one of these aspects of the game to the best of my ability. Priority. This is a word a good number of players have come to dread because they don't entirely understand it. And sadly, the people who try to tell them what it is and how it works don't entirely understand it either, leading to a lot of people misconstruing the concept in the worst ways imaginable. Luckily, I know the mechanic in and out, and am willing to lay out all the details in an easy-to-understand manner, so forget everything you think you know about priority and listen for a bit. You may learn something, and that's what I'm going here for, my friends. Woo, stuttering, yay. Anyway, to begin, let's make sure we all know what the word priority means. Sai?
Webster's dictionary defines it as something given or meriting attention before competing alternatives.
Thank you. In the scope of Yu-Gi-Oh!, priority adds much needed structure to the game, in that it determines who can activate what and when. Simply put, the turn player always has priority during their turn to activate a spell speed 2 or higher effect in response to their own actions that do not claim a chain link. These actions include drawing a card during their draw phase, manually changing a monster's battle position, summoning a monster, declaring an attack, and so forth. The turn player must momentarily pass priority to the non-turn player at the end of each phase and step during a turn. The turn player must also momentarily pass priority to the non-turn player after an effect the turn player controls is added to the chain, and when a chain has finished resolving, in order to allow the non-turn player a response to that event if they so wish. In other words, priority is like a volley that begins with the turn player, always. Since examples are always good, let's provide some that cover a variety of situations. You're up, Hikaru.
Oh man, I just have to read the script, right? Example number 1. The turn player draws a card during their draw phase. If the card they drew is a quick play spell card such as Mystical Space Typhoon, they have priority to activate that card before the opponent can activate the drop-off trap card. Example number 2. The turn player wishes to enter their main phase 1. Before this can be done, the turn player must pass priority to the non-turn player, who can then use this opportunity to activate an appropriate effect if they so wish, such as that of Trap Dust Shoot. Provided there are no other effects the players wish to use during this time, Trap Dust Shoot will resolve, and then the main phase 1 will be entered. Example number 3. The turn player declares an attack with Dark Magician against the non-turn player's face-down defense position monster. At this time, the turn player has priority to activate the Magician's Circle trap card that they had set since their previous turn, before the non-turn player can respond to this attack with something such as Mirror Force. which they can still do as Chain Link 2. Example number 4. The turn player has declared an attack with his 5-headed dragon against the non-turn player's attack position Blue Eyes White Dragon. Both players have agreed to proceed to the damage step as far as damage calculation. At this time, the turn player is confident that his 5-headed dragon will win the battle, so he passes on his priority to activate his effects at this time. The non-turn player then uses this opportunity to activate the effect of the Honest in his hand. The turn player is bamboozled and finds he has nothing he can do in response to this, so Blue Eyes White Dragon proceeds to win the battle, destroying 5-headed dragon and dealing 3,000 battle damage to the turn player's life points. Hopefully these examples have made it more clear as to what priority is and what it entails, but there's still a bit more to explain. Normally, the turn player's priority only extends to being able to be the first to activate a spell speed 2 or higher effect in response to their own actions that do not claim a chain link. But there is an exception to this. Find out this exception in the second part of this video, since I don't want to be cramped for time.